Welcome to Rhythm of Justice Television, where art meets activism. You are here with Brother Salim Adofo, and we are talking about the Sisters of Zeta Phi Beta. How you all doing today?
Doing great. Great
Excellent.
to be here.
We have on the show Ms. Rhonda Anderson, and we have Ms. Krista Jones. Tell us about yourself, Ms. Rhonda. Where did you go to school at?
Actually, I went to the University of Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. I have a degree in marketing from our Wharton School of Business there.
Oh, wow, the Wharton School of Business. Okay, you the truth. And is that where you first joined the organization?
That is Mu Iota chapter there. We say not so shy Mu I, but yes.
Okay. And Ms. Jones, where are you from?
I'm from University of Florida. I went there for my undergraduate degree and got my graduate degree at the George Washington University.
Okay, and where did you become a member of Zeta Phi Beta?
University of Florida.
University of Florida. Now, what year did you join the organization?
1998.
1998. Wow. Okay. And how has the organization changed since 1998? Or has it changed at all?
Wow, no. I think the principles are still the same.
Okay.
You know, our history of service, grassroots activism is still very much the same. Right. But you know, I think that Zeta Phi Beta sorority is truly innovative. And that's something I think that's definitely evolved in the last 20 years. Okay. A lot of our programs are more standardized. You know, we have great programs like Zeta's Helping Other People Excel. We have a Zeta Organizational Leadership Program. That didn't exist in 1998.
All right. When did Zeta Phi Beta as a whole start?
Well, I'll jump in. Actually, we are so excited to be about to be on the cusp of our centennial. Okay. So we were started on the campus of Howard University on January 16th, 1920. So that centennial celebration for us is looming in all our hearts. We're all excited that the sisterhood that was founded on the principles of scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood are still enduring after almost 100 years and certainly beyond.
Right.
So, yeah.
Who are some of the founders of the organization?
Oh, Arizona Cleaver Semmings, Myrtle Tyler Faithful, Fannie Petty Watts, Viola Tyler Goings, and Pearl Anna Neal.
At that time in 1920, what would you say was the social climate that helped bring the organization into existence?
Well, you know, it was obviously 1920s. We hadn't yet found voters' rights for voting rights for women. Some say, you know, that was just the beginning because black women at that time still didn't have the right to vote. So these women were on campus in a climate where the Ku Klux Klan was vibrant and active, and they still said, you know, we want to educate ourselves. We want to advance our community, and I'm still amazed that it was a struggle for them even to say they wanted to step up and be educated women. And then they got on to Howard's campus and saw that there were other sororities that were there, but they were really wanting to go beyond more of the social aspect and a lot of the recreational things that you normally associate with sororities and fraternities. And they were blessed to have help from our brother fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So they helped them along. They had been on campus for 6 years before us, and they were friends and they were fellow activists and leaders on campus, and they thought, you know, this is what we can do. You guys have goals similar to ours. And they kind of started us on, and we've taken it, you know.
Oh, I just want to make sure I have some of the history of the organization correctly.
Yeah.
The first chapter was on Howard's campus?
Exactly.
Okay, so it was the undergraduate chapter was the first chapter. Correct. And your chapter is?
Nu Xi Zeta.
Nu Xi
We're
Zeta?
based in the city of Alexandria. We also serve Arlington, Virginia community as well. So and that's actually what is so amazing about the sisterhood, because I know many people, if they join other types of sororities, particularly not historically black organizations, and maybe if they do, you join a sorority for your collegiate time, and it's special and it's fun and it's, you know, memories and friendships that can last a lifetime. But then for you to graduate and take that step to say, I want to be part of a collective that will get engaged, that will still raise up my community, that can strengthen bonds between women after college, after having families, after raising kids. And it's very powerful. That's really a lifelong endeavor for us all.
When was this particular chapter founded?
November 28th, 1986.
Wow, 1986. What was happening? Jesse Jackson was running for president, I believe, during that time, 1986. What are some of the accomplishments of the chapter?
Oh gosh, I think one of the things we're most proud of is we've started a foundation over the years, and we're very focused on trying to give back. That through our spring luncheon, it's been an annual thing where it's our scholarship vehicle for giving scholarships out to deserving youth in Arlington and the city of Alexandria. So we've been able to recognize some really powerful men and women in the community, recognize our direct community support, local organizations that have stepped up to say, you know, we need help, or we see a gap in some of the services, or some place that we can just lend our hand. So we've been very excited to be able to donate over $50,000 in the last 5 years.
Wow, congratulations.
So thank you so much. And we're really proud of that. And that's not just through us. We reach out to people for donations, in-kind donations, and it's a huge collective. So we're very proud of being able to do that. And through that, we've started a focus on STEM. Through our HAVE Foundation, Zeta HAVE Foundation, and really focusing on what we can do to prepare African American and minority youth to be prepared at the college level to pursue those careers in science, technology, and engineering.
What are some of the positions you've held in the chapter?
Well, I am I'm a life member in the chapter, in the organization, and I've also served as the past vice president for 2 terms. I've held many chair positions, and just, you know, retreat, which is very dear to me because, like I said, joining an organization like this, it's a lot of hard work, and there's an amazing vision and a purpose, but it's really great to have your sister friends. So one of the things I like to do is make sure that with our retreat and different things like that, we're able to really foster those sisterly bonds as well.
Ms. Jones, what are some of the positions you've held in the chapter?
So in our chapter, I'm a past president. I've also been a second vice president, and also held the role of social action director for several years, or social action chair for several years in the chapter.
And what kind of initiatives and things did you bring to the community through those positions?
Well, so I used to be a congressional staffer. I used to work for Congressman Jim Moran and then Congressman Don Beyer. And before that, I was a lobbyist. So, and I also am the past national social action director for the organization as well.
Congratulations.
So one of the things that was always very important to me was just building those relationships with your elected officials. Because a lot of times, you know, we'll complain on Facebook or we'll complain to our friends and family, but we won't take those concerns directly to our elected officials. So that was always something that I tried to instill in the chapter.
Right.
We held candidate forums. We sponsored with Young Professionals Network of the Urban League for several years, just always very engaged in educating and creating those bonds with our elected officials. Also, while I was National Social Action Director, right after the Mike Brown incident in Ferguson, we decided that Zeta wanted to bring together some of our best and brightest minds from the legal community, from the criminal justice community, our activists, to figure out something that we could do in response instead of just being so passive. So we started the Get Engaged program, which has become a national program. Today we do everything from criminal justice reform to partnering with the NAACP to we call it protest to public policy. We do things with media images, making sure people understand that you cannot be what you can't see. So really making sure we have positive media images of African Americans. So, you know, really social action is close to my heart. Zeta, our members were actually, our charter members were actually handpicked by a national president and they were political appointees. They were very engaged in politics. So as they grew that Northern Virginia chapter, Zeta, that also kind of instilled more political activism in the name of Zeta throughout the Virginia community.
All right, we need to take a break. You're watching Rhythm and Justice Television. We'll be right back.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
When I look in the mirror,
do I like what I see?
Yes. I like my teeth and I like my tongue. I like my nose. I like my ears.
And my eyes.
And I like my face. Me gusta todo.
I see a perfect reflection of me.
And I wouldn't change a single thing. Because I am enough.
Welcome back to Rhythm and Justice Television. We are here with some of the sisters of Zeta Phi Beta. How are you all doing today? We have on the show right now our president of the chapter,
Yes.
Miss Nicole Obi Williams. And we have Miss Andrea Cook, who is the vice president. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So now that we have the leadership here on the show, did you just begin your term?
So yes, I've been holding my term for 1 full year.
Okay.
So I have 1 more year left.
All right.
So I'm very excited to continue my second year.
And how do you plan to continue out the second half of your term? What is your vision for the second half?
So my vision for the chapter was for us to be a world-class chapter that provides innovative and impactful programming to our community. So this year, I really would like to focus a lot on finding our niche in areas that are underserved. So we have a lot of organizations in the Alexandria community, but we want to make sure we go where some people aren't, or some people are not getting their service. So trying to find that impactful program and find our niches is what I'm focused on right now.
And what are some of the local programs that you have?
Well, we actually partner with several organizations to do programs together. We have community partners with the Northern Virginia Urban League, Young Professionals Network, and so we partnered recently with our Power of Me program.
Yes.
And actually, Andrea Cook was one of the speakers.
Okay.
So we tend to do programs that we like to do with other organizations as well. But we've also done programs with Alive, who's another one of our community partners, where we serve, we provide food to people that don't have food
In the community.
in the community as well. So.
Some of our other community programs include one of our absolute favorites, and that's Read Across America. It's a program that actually honors Dr. Seuss, and it's something that we do every year. News Zeta loves spending time with children, and this is one of our absolute favorite programs. So.
And as vice president, what do you find your main responsibilities are for the organization?
So as vice president, one of my main jobs is membership, and I focus on 3 main tenets, and that's reclamation, retention, and recruitment. So those are the 3 things that I focus on most of the time.
And what are some of your techniques in retaining some of the members?
So one of the most important things, I think, is passion. Each one of us has a passion. What drew us to Zeta is different. It's a personal thing for every individual soror. So I feel like if you can appeal to someone's passion, you can get them to stay. And that is why our members do stay. We're appealing to their passions. They're tapping into what they love.
You mentioned something I think is very important. What attracts the members to the organization? You said everyone has their own particular passion and something that brought them to the organization. What brought you to the organization?
Oh my gosh. So I became a member in 2002 at Fayetteville State University, and that's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And it was just the caliber of women. They were amazing. They were active, and I wanted to be with them. I wanted to make an impact just like them. And that's what drew me, and that is honestly what helped me stay. I'm with an amazing group of women who are incredibly supportive. They push me to reach and stretch out and do things that I would never do.
Right.
But you know, they're my amazing cheerleaders. They're always with me. They're always pushing me to do better, always pushing me to take the next step. And that fuels me to be here every day.
Is this chapter considered a graduate chapter?
Yes, we're considered a graduate chapter.
And what was life like as an undergrad at Fayetteville State as opposed to now as in a graduate chapter here in the nation's capital?
Well, you know, that was years ago. I'll say that I'm definitely older, wiser. I've definitely grown into my most amazing self now. And I think you just have, as we grow older, we have a more supportive system of women. We are reaching for, one of the great things about our chapter is that we're all reaching for something great at this age. We're all experiencing life where we are, and we support each other through that. So, you know, in undergrad, I wasn't necessarily thinking about my career and the steps that I needed to take. I definitely wasn't planning a family and doing things like that. But the community service aspect is still there. We still serve the community well, but just growing up and growing into my own, I have an amazing group of mentors, and I am a mentor to another amazing group of women. So,
Ms. Nicole, what brought you to the organization?
So I actually became a grad member through News Zeta, but I was first shown Zeta on the campus of Virginia Tech. So I was introduced to several women that actually came up to me. And that was one thing that drew me to Zeta, was they weren't women who were some sort of like elitist in terms of, we're not going to associate with you. They were very warm and welcoming. And they kind of brought me along from a freshman all the way up until even when I graduated. Okay. So even after I graduated, it was kind of like, you know, I would like for you guys to come and be a part of us up in Northern Virginia. So it was seeing those women, it was amazing. They were amazing and refreshing to see women that were not bashing each other or beating each other down, but it was more like trying to bring them up. So that was one of the reasons why I joined Zeta and became interested in Zeta.
Now, you joined at the graduate level? Or?
Right, so I joined at the graduate level through Zeta in 2008. Okay. So after I graduated.
Now, they don't really get on you about not pledging at the undergrad?
No, actually they don't. You know, a member is a member, and a person who serves is a person who serves.
Absolutely.
It does not matter when you came in. It does not matter what level you are. We have life members. It does not matter. If you are here to work and you are here to serve, we're all for it.
I hear you. So even both of you are life members?
So I'm a life member.
You're I am not a life member. No.
You say not a life member yet?
I am not.
Yes. All right. How do you feel as though Zeta has impacted your life, especially since being in a leadership position? Was it what you expected, or do you sit up at night just like, man, why did I sign up for this?
Oh, actually, being in leadership. No, I'm telling the truth. Okay. Being in leadership in this chapter and just in the organization period, it stretches you, right? But it makes you better. So there's times where I am completely out of my comfort zone, right? Yes. And my sorors will come behind me and be like, you've got this, here's what you have to do. But we also have so many professional women in our organization. I can call anybody and ask them for any assistance, guidance in many areas, right? In law, in television producing, all sorts of things.
We've got it all.
Right, so I never had an issue, at least when I've been a leader, where I felt like I was kind of stuck out there and it's just like they're gonna bash you as leader. No, I've always felt supported by my chapter sorors and sorors in general.
Have you held other leadership positions in the chapter?
So I have held probably every
position, yes.
Such as, I started, it's like the minute that I came to the organization, I was the secretary. Okay. So I grew up on the board, so all the way until now I'm the president. So I was parliamentarian, which enforces the rules, right?
Historian.
The historian, so I got to catalog a lot of the history and see why we have such a rich history and learn to enjoy it and appreciate it. So I've held a lot of positions. So I am blessed that they elected me to be the president. I'm honored, honestly, to be a member of such an illustrious chapter.
How long have you been on the board at total time?
Oh, okay, so I've been a member for 9 years. I've been on the board for 8.
Wow.
So I've been on the board since the beginning.
Yeah, that's interesting because some folks may hold one position or maybe 2 positions, but if you've been on the board that long and held so many positions, I think you might be the person that is best suited to probably be president because you know what each role takes. Right, and then I will be honest with you, again, the other executive board members, they would kind of take you along and groom you. If you said, I have an interest in finance, hey, we will train you up before you become treasurer so we can make sure that you know the areas of accounting and things like that. So it was one of the ways that I grew professionally was being on the board of the chapter. All right, we need to take one more break. You're watching Rhythm and Justice Television. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rhythm and Justice Television, where art meets activism. We're still here with the sisters of Zeta Phi Beta, and we have back on Miss Krista Jones, and we have our Vice President, Miss Andrea Cook. Can you tell us about the HALF program that you have?
Sure. Our 501c3 arm is called the Zeta Helping Alexandria, Virginia Excel Foundation, also known as HALF.
Okay, now I got it. Makes sense.
It is our amazing 501c3. It has been in existence since 2010, and we've actually been honored to give away this year $10,000 worth of scholarships.
Oh, can you repeat that, please?
$10,000 worth of scholarships. And these scholarships went to children in Alexandria, seniors actually, in Alexandria and Arlington communities. And that brings our total count to $50,000 in 5 years, or 7 years, sorry.
Now, to apply for the scholarship, can they just visit the website, or where would they get information from?
So when the scholarships become active, they are listed on the website, and you can reach out through our organization website, which is basically www.newsizeta.org, and it will send you a link to the Zeta Foundation.
Is there any criteria that the students need?
They
to meet?
vary. We are very innovative with our scholarships,
Okay.
and we try different things, and every year they're a little different.
Okay, so what are some of the other national programs that you all have?
So Zeta Phi Beta sorority has a slew of great national programs, and we always have since our founding. One of our largest programs is our Z-Hope, Zetas Helping Other People Excel, which is our national service umbrella. We also have our partnership with the March of Dimes. So Zeta Phi Beta has partnered with the March of Dimes for almost 50 years, primarily through our Stork's Nest program. And that's where we offer prenatal education to low-income women across the nation. We also do actively participate in the March for Babies, which is used to be March Walk America, which is their annual walk. And we also do our prematurity awareness Sundays, where in Sundays in November, we go to the faith community and educate them about prematurity.
Wow.
So our March of Dimes program is really strong. We also, a few years ago, started a partnership with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And so that program really allows us to get outdoors with our youth and talk about STEM. It allows us to integrate our Zetas Have Heart program, which is our cardiovascular health program. So we're out hiking, fishing, doing archery, and it's just an amazing experience.
Wow.
Especially
Archery?
because, archery. And it's so exciting to see those young ladies, as the pictures come into me, out in, Kansas with a bow and arrow. So these are things a lot of our Black children are not exposed to.
That's true.
So we also have an elder care program. So our international president, she has been personally affected by, just having to take care of an elderly parent, and so many of us are. So it was really important for her to talk about elder abuse and the importance of elder care. So Zeta Phi Beta works with homes throughout the country in terms of promoting that as well.
Now, do you have any international components?
Yes, we have several international chapters, everywhere from Abu Dhabi, Korea. Yes, we were actually the first Greek letter organization, I believe, in Abu Dhabi, Korea, Japan, the several chapters in the Caribbean. We were also the first organization to charter a chapter in Africa in 1948.
Wow. Do you know what country?
I think Liberia.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you said you're approaching 100 years.
Yes.
And if you look back over the time that you've been in an organization, because you served on a national level, like you said as well, what would you say are some of the more significant contributions that the organization has made as a whole? As we were talking about the history, that really reminds me of our contributions to both the women's movement and women's history and the civil rights movement. Okay. Not only have we had amazing members who've been active in both movements, but I really feel like our organization has always been there to fill in those gaps and to do what's necessary just to get the job done. Grassroots service and activism has really been one of the central tenets of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Now, you have a young lady first day on the yard trying to figure out where she wants to go in life. What would you say to her in terms of why she should become a member of Zeta Phi Beta?
I'm going to say again, tap into your passion. What matters to you? If you see that in Zeta, if you see that in the Zeta women that you walk by, that's what it is. It's your passion. What do you care about? What would you say to her? So I'm very socially action motivated, and I really think in this day and time we need to be affiliating ourselves with organizations who are impactful. Okay. So to me, that's Zeta Phi Beta, and that's something that's across the board. We have members and chapters of different sizes in different parts of the world, but that's something that really has stayed the same. So I would say look for that organization that is making impact. And so 20 years down the line, because Zeta has been doing it for almost 100 years, I'm certain that we'll be doing it for the next 100 years. And that's the type of organization you want to be affiliated with. Now, you're talking about organizations that have impact. Now, I witnessed some of my friends, I have friends that are members of the sorority. They had a Zeta Day on the Hill, I believe. Yes. What is that about? So I actually have organized that event for several years. And that is our opportunity to, we say we have our Get Engaged program. That's our opportunity to talk to our legislators, bring those basic concerns that we're dealing with, that we're seeing. We have our ear to the ground, as educated professional women, and bring those to Capitol Hill. So we have workshops, we hear from members of Congress, we have panel discussions. And so this is really just an excellent opportunity to put what we do every day in action on the national level.
Now, of course, you can't speak for all Zetas or all women, but how important is it to have that presence there on the Hill so they can know what some of the people in our community who don't ever get a chance to even come to Washington, D.C., let alone to the Hill, have to say?
It is so important, and I really think of our members as that voice. You know, for those people that can't make it to Capitol Hill, we are that voice. Legislators you need to hold your legislators accountable. You know, I served as a congressional staffer for several years, and I know the types of people who are calling in day after day to share their concerns with your legislators. Zetas need to do that too. We care about issues that affect women, children, all types of populations. Let's take our voice to Capitol Hill and make everything known.
All right, closing comments. We got about a minute left. What do you have for us, Ms. Vice President?
Well, if you are interested in learning more about Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we also implore you to, specifically the Alexandria chapter, please take a look at our website. That's, again, www.newsizeta.org. And we're also on Twitter, AlexandriaZetas. So please look for us there.
Ms. Jones, what would be your closing comments?
I would say, you know, again, that my time in Zeta has been fabulous. I have been able to do a lot of things with the social action realm, with the political realm, always have had my sorors there to support me. And I think if you're looking for that organization to really help you be all that you can be, it's definitely Zeta Phi Beta Sorority.
Well, I want to thank you too for coming on, as well as some of the other sisters that was on the show. And I look forward to bringing you back on maybe in about another 6 months to a year, so we can see how your programs and initiatives have progressed and impacted the Alexandria community.
That would be great.
Once again, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're watching Rhythm and Justice Television. Brother Salim Adofo. We'll see you all next week.